I've always wanted to test one, but I never wanted to pay for one. So I'll take it for $5. I actually had it on there for $3, but all I had was a $5 bill. So
Mm. He's bragging about his new mic, Bill.
Oh, what do you got?
a mod mic.
It's in the chat.
See,
I'm not. I don't.
It's a $89.95 mic, and he paid $5 for it.
Well, I'll be darned.
Oh, probably.
All right, good. All right, everything's up and running. I think.
Oh,
Huh. Wow, and I didn't even have to futz around with the sound to get it working. Must be my
well,
lucky
that's
day.
good.
I had Dave from 3FT on Linux OTC. We were talking about Dave is. We started this kind of long-term discussion slash argument about how the whole world is going to eventually move to like Iron Man Minority Report type interaction between people and computers, like the whole paradigm of keyboards and things like that is going to go away, and it turned out to be a pretty interesting discussion.
Okay.
maybe it will
So when do I get my implant?
next week.
That's one thing Leo brought up. It'll be a lot easier with a brain implant.
Hi, Eric.
Hmm.
Your window's there.
He muted you.
He doesn't like me anymore. We had a great distro hoppers.
Yeah.
The edit is done, but I don't think anyone's figured out how to publish it to uh, archive. Tony hasn't been responding lately. I'm pretty sure Dale got it up to Red Circle, but we got to get it up to archive.
It's a little bit more involved than Red Circle is. But
Oh no, I do nothing. I
you
have
never
my
learned how to do
voice-
it?
Nope. Hi, Eric. I am a
Moss.
mindless idiot. All I do is keep the scripts running.
Well, the thing about archive, like if you want there to be an image like when I upload mintCast, I'll first upload the audio file because that's what tells that first file is the one that tells archive what kind of entry this is, and then you can upload the like the little mintcast logo with it, and then from then it's just filling out the instructions that we've got on the Nextcloud are actually pretty good.
Okay.
I don't use them for like the website. The website I set up completely different from what the.
Well, Tony really has to do it because the blogspot is really weird. That we can when Tony gets done with it, we have the beginnings of the blogspot showing up with the article, and then nothing else, and you have to literally go look up the show notes to find the show notes. And I don't know why, but when he's tried uploading the whole thing, it's too big to upload.
It's
Which
this
I-
weird thing where it splits it between a post and a page,
Yeah.
which makes no sense whatsoever. Also, it's under his Google account, so whoever else does it has to log in as him. It's a
And if Google
I'm
wants
sure-
two-factor authentication, then we have to be able to get in
wait
touch
for
with him.
him. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a whole kerfuffle. So it's less than ideal. So
Well, with the WordPress thing, like anybody
Maybe
that's gonna.
we need to change the account. Can we maybe just change it to someone else's email?
having it tied to a single user is challenging because, like you said, if God forbid something happens to him and none of us can log in because you need his phone to
Right.
authenticate, then it's again, less than ideal. I mean, the better solution would be something that has multiple accounts and we all have our own authentication and can all
Oh,
post
we've
things.
You
got
can
someone
force
that's-
switch the phone authentication.
Have that authenticate
but, I mean,
against
that's a
like a
whole-
Google Voice or something like that you can all access.
That just
Well, no.
adds more complexity.
Yeah, well,
Well, we could totally redo the website. We have an offer to do a complete rework, but that'd be using Hugo.
we can set up
And-
something right here on WordPress. I've got plenty of storage space.
That's a thought.
Yep.
I think it's a good 2024 objective. It's not going to be something we can literally just throw together because there's a whole huge history of shows and show notes and, content that exists that somehow would have to figure out a way of migrating that doesn't require a huge amount of manual intervention.
Oh,
Yeah,
And again,
migrating.
because Blogger has it split between posts and pages where the post shows you the first 300 characters or something, and then it's a click here to read more. I don't know why it's set up the way it is. I don't know if that's a limitation of Blogger, if it's a...
Tony said it was a limitation of archive.
Okay.
That
Well-
basically you can upload so much, and then if you put too much, then it won't accept the upload.
Yeah.
I've never experienced that.
So
Again, it's... I don't know, coming into it, like, I offered to edit the show, which I'm happy to do, and the audio portion of it. I even logged into Blogger and tried to do it last time and couldn't figure it out, and Tony had to come in behind me and fix it. So I'm kind of hoping he'll keep helping us out until we come up with something better, potentially. But
I don't know if it makes a difference, but it is Blogspot, not Blogger. But
no,
I
it's
think
not
they're-
Moss. It's Blogger.
Well, then why is our address on Blogspot?
When I log in, the thing at the top has a
I
big
think
Blogger.
Google both of them, and I don't think they finished integrating them. Is what's going on.
Okay.
But yeah, our address is Blogspot, which used to be separate from Blogger, but may not be.
Gotcha.
With the setup we've got for mintCast and OTC, it can be literally migrated from one machine to another or to a cloud machine with the use of one add-on.
Yeah. Well, that's the nice thing about a third-party solution like WordPress is that it is portable and is easy enough to host. Something like Blogger/Blogspot, it's their platform.
Yeah.
I don't even know if we can get the data out of it in a reasonable format. Again, it's
Should
a
be possible.
2024. It should be, and I'm sure it's not
possible to migrate your blog anywhere. Yeah.
well, but that's when you agree free again, Moss free, right? This was a free system, so there's no
Still
guarantee of
migration
anything.
should be part of the free
Well,
system.
I think you could probably start with maybe getting the last 5 episodes moved on to something else. And then as time goes on, just start adding the backlog, have like an overlapping period where...
Yeah. Well, I guess, is there... Again, I'm coming in, I've done 9 episodes, and I'm the new guy. So like you've said, Bill, about coming into mintCast, like there is a certain threshold of like what I'm willing to just start pushing before it feels uncomfortable. Like I'm doing something that's against the grain or...
I wouldn't know. I
to
was
be,
forced to throw my weight around
Yeah.
almost immediately.
You have my full support, Eric.
Yeah.
As
Oh.
long as I don't have to learn how to do it, you have my full support. Bill's the new guy, but he's so new that he just caught up to Charles Olson on the hosting list.
Oh, wow.
Bill, you've been here as long as the founder.
I'm not sure how to feel about that. It means this is about the time the guy that started this said, you know what? I'm not going to do this anymore.
Yes, but you got to look at what Rob Hawkins did.
Yeah.
But Bill, you're also a glutton for punishment because that wasn't enough. You had to start more podcasts to throw on top of that.
And he had to throw it all on his own server and everything.
It was just the best way. So my immediate thought when the whole Google, because when I came on the show, there was this strange period of time where it seemed like everything was falling apart at the same time. We was losing our web hosting on Bytemark. So the website wasn't working. Google had announced that they were getting rid of the free grandfathered workspace account thing, which they eventually went back on. But I mean, it was a big eye opener, and we had a lot of very big problems we had to figure out. And I knew nothing about making websites or hosting, and now I host all this shit. And
Bill made like a Madagascar seagull and go mine.
It was a lot of watching YouTube videos and somebody's got to figure this out and get it moved on to something, and so I took it upon myself and I did. But my thinking at the time was, okay, we are a zero income podcast. So we have to have $0 solutions to these problems. I might be able to sign us up.
Has your wife agreed to your spending all those $0?
That's a good point.
It hasn't exactly you might want to think about that.
It hasn't been $0, but it's. These are also kind of toys for me too. I've enjoyed messing with this stuff. But I don't have to worry about if I'm not able to pay the Linode bill or the AWS bill. Our website's not going to work, that kind of thing. So, and then the website
to migrate our website.
The website that was kind of one of the most painful things that had to be moved over because.
Hey, Eric.
Yes, sir.
Your surround system, was it designed to have a center channel?
Yeah, and I just
I bought change the subject.
Yeah.
Abruptly.
No segue or nothing.
Yeah, I hard forked that shit.
Yeah, you did.
He did. He was bored with that conversation. Yeah, I got the head unit, and then I had some speakers. So I had satellite speakers for the surround, and then the two main channel speakers. But I don't have a center, and so what I'm missing. So I put it into just straight stereo instead of
that's what I was going to recommend.
But even that, without even just regular stereo, the way they've mixed these shows, the dialogue is so far below all the music and sound effects and I already have some difficulty hearing dialogue. So I think the best solution is to just get either a sound bar or a center channel speaker and incorporate it, and then see. Because I've had experiences where I've listened to the same sort of, show, whether it's a sporting broadcast or a movie or something, on a system that has a center channel, and it's night and day. Like you can hear all of the dialogue so clearly because it's a prominent, center stage type thing.
I have a sound bar that needs I think it's a resistor replaced. It might be a capacitor, but I think it's a resistor because it turns on, but it cuts in and out, and then it heats up in one part. So,
yeah, and I'm not afraid of spending a little bit of money on it. It's not that I didn't know if you had a like you do with some of your other audio stuff where it's just
this crap that I know. It's always good to ask.
Well, I wasn't sure if you had the random crap knowledge about these, so it's no big deal. I will find some. There's so many low cost options that I can try just about anything, and it's not. I don't have like a high end system. I don't have it like set up all around me. Like it's not meant to be like that. It's really just I just want that center channel to push out the dialogue at a
Proper
higher
sound,
volume. Yeah, because I mean, I was watching something on audio production where they start with, I think it's 128 channels. I forget what it is for a movie. It's very, very high numbers, triple digit channels. And they take that for a theater and then they mix it down for the next lower, 64 channels and then 32 channels and then 16 channels. And they just keep pushing it down, down, down. And the fidelity and the separation of those things becomes sort of muddled as they get lower down. So that's why having it in stereo, even though all that sound is represented, it gets mixed in such a way that's very, so I end up needing to use like subtitles a lot of times because it's just really hard for me to hear.
I have to use subtitles quite a lot.
Dialogue today is so mumbly, and I guess it's because this is the other thing I saw a video on. I asked the simple question of why is dialogue so less, like old movies you watch, they're very, it's almost like they're putting on a stage play, right? They're projecting, they're enunciating.
They cut out the background sound and they focus on the person. So even if you don't turn on closed captioning, you can at least read their lips, or at least I can.
Yeah. Well, so apparently the reason is because of the mic technology. In the past in those older movies, like there was literally like a mic or maybe two or three, but now like each actor has a mic underneath their clothing. Plus they've got booms, they've got all this like mic technology. So I guess if I listen in headphones, it's usually okay. It's when I'm listening open air. And actually, what's funny? My Samsung Galaxy Tab S8 Plus has Dolby Atmos, and it is amazing the fidelity of sound I get out of 4 little speakers. I don't know how the hell they project sound to make it sound like it's 3 feet on either side of me. It blows my mind.
This is what I'm currently using for my computer sound because like everything else I had was either cheap or died. So this is one of the Sony Bluetooth speakers that's just hooked up with aux.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you the model off the top of my head here. Let me look. SRS XB30.
Okay.
So it's one of their smaller ones, but I got it from a lot of broken stuff, and I don't think I even had to do much to fix it. It was a power supply problem or something like that. And
Gotcha.
it works great as long as I have a good aux cable. Or if I'm willing to switch to Bluetooth, which I'm usually not.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's for especially how close it is to me and the wife, and it sounds, freaking awesome. And it gets plenty loud, and I can even go over and lift weights as long as I remember to turn it up, and it'll come out great. So
I have a little single speaker Sony that's kind of from that same line, but it's just a little circular drum. I mean, it looks like a subwoofer kind of, but like a tiny one.
It looks like a soda can.
Exactly. And the sound quality, and the only complaint I have is that the volume is not particularly loud, so you can't like have it on the other side of a large room and have it be prominent. But if it's anywhere near you, within like 10 to 15 feet, just the highs are so crisp. The lows, there's actually a little bit of bass that, that it puts out. Like, it's impressive. And it's so easy to use because it is Bluetooth, and my wife uses it. I use it. My daughter, like, we all just have this, speaker sitting around and using it. But the difference between listening on a smartphone speaker and listening on that is so dramatic that, like,
the Note 10 Plus has some really, really crisp speakers in it and sounds awesome. But yeah, the Sonys do sound. They have more space to make noise, so they do sound a bit better. But
I don't know.
Discount some of the quality.
For a mobile device, how the hell they got that Galaxy Tab to sound like that? Because I'll listen to. I was watching a hockey game the other night, and it's
which one?
Sometimes Penguins. I'm a Pens fan. So
which Penguins game were you watching the other night?
It was Penguins and oh my god, I can't remember which one it was.
What was the final score?
We lost. It was Vancouver, so it was
Okay.
Canucks. So there there were fans in the stands, and only maybe 10 people were. And it was Patrick Dunco as the goaltender, and they're going Demko, Demk, and it sounds like it's 6 feet to my right. But from the screen that I'm looking at right in front of me, and I'm like, how in the hell is that happening? Seriously, it like blows my mind. Like how the hell, two little speakers firing in that direction somehow trick my brain into
there's
thinking.
a reason Samsung tablets cost so much.
Yeah, I guess
Well,
so.
that Pixel 3a XL that I had just had two little bitty speakers, but you said it here, and it's surround sound, man. It was incredible. My 7 doesn't has the two speakers, but one's a little pinhole.
Yeah, mine's kind of the same way, where you can hear the sound, but it's not prominent enough to be balanced. You know what I mean?
3a XL was gorgeous sound. It couldn't fill up the room, but if you set it down in front of you, you're hearing it all, and it's perfect stereo separation and everything.
Well, I think
Yeah.
I've decided what to do with my daughter who wants a phone for her birthday that's coming up in like 2 weeks. So I got this Moto G over here. Yes, it's a cheap phone. I'm going to give that to her. But then in
What model?
What May the Moto G 2023, the 5G.
Oh, okay. I didn't know they had a 2023, but
yeah,
I know about the 2021 and the 2022 because we canceled buying the 2021 to get the 2022.
Well, I bought that one in 2023. Maybe it is a 2022, but I was assuming it was the 2023. But
Lenovo has lost their minds on their phones. They're just
yeah,
not good.
but I need to get a new phone, and my wife needs to get a new phone because we both have the Note 10 Pluses. So we're just going to bite the bullet when the 24 Ultra comes out and get that. So, and then I will take my Note 10 Plus and hand that to my daughter and take back the Moto G and keep using it as my backup phone. Because it's my phone that's there if my Note 10 Plus dies.
You have a reasonable amount of certainty that with a Samsung product, you kind of know what you're getting. You know, it's interesting the contrast between how Google does everything with software and algorithms, and their cameras all software based, and their all that stuff, and then Samsung tends to be more just pure hardware. Right. And I think that kind of translates into Samsung products lasting a little bit longer because the hardware just tends to be a little better.
And I'm the guy.
Some of their software is actually pretty good too. I mean, the reason that I'm not switching to like OnePlus
as I'm looking for
their phone is because of DeX.
And have it read the story
straight
to
up.
me.
And honestly, One UI I feel like has gotten so much better. I couldn't stand it 5 years ago. And now, like, especially on this Samsung Tab, the Galaxy Tab, One UI and DeX combined, it's a really good experience. Like, I thought I was going to get that Latitude tablet and be satisfied with it as a general purpose tablet and then sell the Galaxy Tab. And, like, I can't do it. I just enjoy that tablet too much.
Yeah, well, I gave some serious consideration to the OnePlus, the folding one that just came out. What's that, the 11 something or 10 something? I don't freaking know. The OnePlus folding that looks like the Samsung Galaxy Fold 5, but actually has decent hardware in it. But I'm not sure how good of an idea that is because I know that with a Samsung product that it's going to get updates for at least 4 years. And I know that my insurance, if I take the Samsung into one of these repair shops, they're going to have the parts for it. And I'm going to be able to pay my, $75 to $110 and it'll get fixed and I'll have it the next day. I won't have to wait a week for parts to show up.
Well, I guess I'm just going to have to keep sitting on these used phones I got.
Yeah.
It's never a bad idea to have an extra, honestly.
Well, I gave some serious thought to your Moto G stylus. But I looked up some of the reviews for the Moto G stylus, and from what you said, it sucks.
The software just doesn't match it. It hangs up so often. But I do have the two 3AXLs, one of which has run Calyx OS and probably could again, but
But
I haven't.
the 3A and the 3A XL are what?
They are not 5G
Six,
phones.
4 years old?
They are not 5G phones. That's the
They're
only
not
reason I
5G
upgraded
phones.
from them.
Yeah. Well, the Note 10 Plus, technically, I didn't get the 5G version, so my phone's not a 5G phone either. But
Huh?
the next phone I get, I want mine to be a 5G phone. But I will talk to Kai, and if she wants to stick to the Moto G, then I'll keep the Note 10 Plus as my backup phone, which will be kind of awesome.
Do you see Google's being sued for their Tensor
I did not.
patent?
I did not.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Apparently, some little company, I posted it in news today. Some little company says that they own several of the patents that are inside the Tensor chip. And Google's saying, oh, we didn't copy anything. This is all our own work. Yeah, well, see you in court, Bob.
Mm-hmm.
Which news feed?
I usually drop it in Discord public news.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking. I don't
I'm
see it.
pretty sure I put it there. I sure don't see anything from me. There it is.
January 13th.
Yep. In the register, Google may face $1 billion+ in damages from TPU patent spat.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Wow. Singular alleges AI accelerators built from ripped off blueprints. Ooh.
Yeah, they're asking for $1.5 billion from Google.
So I have to ask, does
Dang.
this microphone sound better than my other headset microphone, the MPOWs?
I think so.
Okay. I should hope so, considering
It doesn't
that
sound like you're blowing it out, which was your biggest problem.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounds really good, actually. There's a depth to your voice instead of that like nasally headset sound sometimes.
You could probably almost get away with using that on the regular show. Not quite. Not quite.
I will use my regular microphone on the show.
It's actually no. Bill's right. It's pretty damn close.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Moss, did you? Go ahead.
Considering how much these cost new, that this microphone costs new, I would hope that it sounded really good.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, it
What was
sounds
that,
good.
Eric?
Did you paste the news story about Photopea? Was that yours as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been using Photopea for years. It's actually a really nice piece of software for anyone who uses Photoshop stuff. It's actually pretty good. It can be a little annoying that it's in a browser, but it's very capable in terms of like being able to do Photoshop level stuff. Like I try to use GIMP as much as I can, but then there are times where it's just like, okay, this this is not working. And yeah, I have it's like $10 for 3 months or something like that for Photopea. So
Yeah.
Actually, it's
I didn't
funny
know how
enough.
open source or free it was, but anything
it's
that's
not.
a real Photoshop competitor that you can use in Linux, even if it's on the browser, had to be worth mentioning.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it definitely is. You know, it's funny. Majid keeps talking about having created that flyer for his group on his phone in Visme. No, in Canva. And yeah, those types of software. So Canva, I use one that's a competitor called Visme. But I've been able to produce reasonably good quality, like brochures and menus and basically just like it's like the new age Photoshop, or not Photoshop, Print Shop Pro, if you can remember back to those days. But it makes it really easy to pick a style or get the right size, because a lot of times, like if you're doing a social media post or something, you don't know what the right size is, and you can start by saying I need it to be this platform or whatever, and bring in a example, and everything's just resizable and you can move everything around. It's just super easy to use. So
Well, but between you and your wife, you have to come up with a ad for distro hoppers that can be up to full page size, and Ronnie has guaranteed he will put it in.
Well, not only that, but the square version of the logo, I started playing around with it yesterday because it's squished the way it is right now.
Yeah.
And I had a couple ideas, but I wanted to talk to my wife about it and see what she thought.
Okay.
So
Well, anything you can do is much appreciated because we got a free blank page waiting for us.
yeah, definitely.
I thought that was really cool of Ronnie to just up and say, "Sure, we're all
Yeah.
for it."
Yeah.
You guys looking at the chat?
What chat?
The YouTube
What,
chat.
YouTube?
Yeah. We're
No.
being preached at.
No.
I'm getting ready to
What
block
are we
him.
being preached at about?
The Omni is the
time to
mark
start
of the
talking
beast.
politics to get rid of them?
No, this is some
What?
straight go tell it on the mountain type shit. Then Jesus shall
What is the
reveal
mark
the
of the
ashes.
beast? What?
Huh? Go
You
look
said
at it.
The Omni?
Yeah.
I
The Omni
Oh,
is the mark of the
wow.
beast.
Nice. Go, Wesley. Preaching to the one other person in chat and the 10 other people that are going to see it.
Can you make
Well,
bots
good
to
for
do this
you.
stuff?
Yeah, I think this guy probably is motivated enough to sit here and type that out.
But will he react to us directly?
I'm sorry, what's the Omni?
Who the hell knows?
Wesley, you're absolutely right. Thank you so much for showing up in our chat. We were lost. We are lost men. And we needed you to come and
Oh God.
and lead us to salvation.
In typical religious babble fashion, he's not actually explaining anything. It's all just
The Omni
jingoism.
Hotel? I'm trying to search here.
The Omni is a
Dallas
branded
Hotel, Omni
barcode.
Group?
That's
have
nice.
to sign in to chat. Oh, wow.
Omni barcode?
Oh,
Wes-
that's awesome. Satan has his own barcode. Damn, that's convenient.
Well, that way we know.
I can just scan it. I don't even have to type in anything.
Right?
That's very convenient.
Can I scan it with my phone?
Oh,
I'm
world's gonna
curious,
end.
though.
Yes. I love the world is ending. It has been ending for the past, I don't know, 6 millennia or so.
Yeah.
And
Well, ever since the day it was created, it began ending.
exactly. Yep. Oh, well, now we just got threatened. Yep. Wesley, why don't you go find a larger stream to annoy? Where you can
Okay,
maybe find.
I can find.
Well, I'm
barcodes.
curious,
Can you
Wesley,
drop, like, a link or something?
Are you a Linux user, and is that what brought you here, and then you decided
I
to
just
share?
posted a comment, but I did not see the thread. I posted a comment and he's not
Yep.
responded.
Who's
Why the
you?
barcode will always be the mark of the beast. Okay.
Again,
I found a link from Wired.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
My YouTube is reloading. I don't see anything.
Let me paste this in the chat so y'all can know what he's talking about.
Yeah, I'm seeing down to chat disconnected. Please wait while we try to reconnect you.
Consider yourself lucky. Oh my
Playing
goodness.
silly, I don't know bullshit is only going to get you marked.
That's right.
If Jesus appeared to you 20 years ago saying it is time and television, that's the last I see.
I am the man chosen to administer the wound that healed. So this is all
Do we
just
have a way of
this.
kicking people out of here?
Okay, when the first UPC scanners arrived in the early 1970s, according to various IBMers who worked on the project, there were protests at grocery stores, even though the codes appeared on Coke cans and jars of applesauce, not right hands and foreheads. And in the years that followed, an urban legend arose warning gullible types that the number 666 was hidden in each barcode. Greg Lauer, who designed the barcode as we know it today, explained in Woodland's original idea, once received a letter via registered mail from someone who claimed to be Satan and asked Lauer how it felt to have carried out his orders.
Yep. Yep.
Although I'm not seeing Omni in this article, I am seeing barcode will always be the mark of the beast.
This
Well,
this
I
whole
don't
like
have a barcode on me, so I don't care. Yeah.
And also the assertion that somehow Jesus has told me specifically or appeared to me. I've been on a lot of drugs in the last 10 years, but
Yeah,
none
I
that
would
good.
think
Yeah.
that orange tanning lotion is the mark of the beast.
Hold on. I am the man chosen to administer the wound that heals to the head of the beast 3.5 years after the Chicago nuke.
Moss, that is the funniest thing I have heard all week. I love it.
I'm wondering though, how much should we really?
Who's he even talking to? Nobody is.
Listen, I don't consider people like this to be rational, normal people. I'm not
As
telling
such.
anyone. I'm not telling anyone that they should not believe in what they want to believe in. I'm not talking down to any genuine, legitimate religious belief. If people genuinely believe that revelation is at hand and all of that stuff, great. But here we are, 4 guys on a stream where there's 2 people watching. One of them,
Three now.
one of them is somehow just spouting off all of this nonsense, and we're supposed to like just be like respectful. Okay, you're right. You're right. Thank you so
Huge,
much for coming
complicated
and enlightening
nonsense.
us.
Well,
Yes.
I reported him and I'm blocking him now.
Nah, hey, hold on. Hold on, it's getting good. He's coming up with dollar amounts now. That's
Right,
starting.
right.
Oh, is he?
I wasn't seeing half
Somebody
of what
wants
you
to
guys
give
were
me
seeing. I don't know why.
$32,523.
Yeah, where's that? When's that coming?
Oh,
You didn't block him, did you?
I blocked him for me. I didn't
Oh,
block
okay.
him for everyone.
Yeah.
I don't have administrative stuff on this
Yep.
page. I'm just closing that. Coming back over here where I can talk to rational people.
I mean,
Yeah, but the rational people
Just-
are enjoying the
just read-
unrational people.
just
It's
read
irrational.
this. It's so silly. Like,
How did he get here? And we asked if he actually uses Linux, but I'm not seeing where he responded to that.
Did you see my
Listen.
post in there?
Uh-uh.
Hold on, I'm looking. No.
there's no chance that in the Old Testament there is an account of $32,000. So I don't know what the heck this guy's talking about. You know what? Thank goodness for technology giving everyone a voice. Just think this guy would have had to be on a street corner somewhere mumbling to himself or yelling at passersby. And now, the world being what it is, he's able to be on some sort of device connected to the internet, able to access YouTube, and to come on and,
Yeah, it really
Okay,
gets me.
no, I
These
had-
people
I had
say
to-
everything they need is in the Bible. Everything you need to know is in the Bible. Where is there about computers in the Bible? Where is there about rebuilding an engine in the Bible? It's
Okay,
just-
I had to look up emerods, and I'm pretty sure that this is not what he means. But emerods is an archaic term for hemorrhoids.
oh. Well, he is a bit of an emerald in that case.
yeah, well, when you spend too much time with your head inserted in a restricted orifice, things smell funny.
That's the funniest thing you've ever said, Moss.
Taking money and you spent on gas for your car trillions of dollars.
Oh, I think you.
I have not spent trillions of dollars.
No, I think you
know how much I
vastly
make per
under
year, and-
undervalued
Yeah.
that number.
and I know how long it would take me to make $1 million, and there's no way I've spent $1 trillion on anything.
Ooh, the itch of the scab. That doesn't sound good.
Get that checked out, homie.
They have ointments.
I think
for
I've
that.
got a cream upstairs for that.
Yeah.
Apply sparingly. Jesus, look at this.
Goodness gracious. Okay, I'm bored with this chuckerhead.
Okay, well, back to technology
Anyway.
then.
All right, I'm going to
And now
block
we have
him.
nothing to talk about.
Yeah, well, the diagram for the 8th generation i5 is in Revelation.
Is it? That would be interesting.
God, what made him? Well, I suppose the algorithm might have led him to us or something. I don't know.
You know, how many millions of live streams are happening right now on YouTube?
And yet we were
know.
chosen. We're
Is
the
that a why
chosen
me?
four.
Well, and actually, it's funny because Leo's assertion that everything's going to be just an AI interaction at some point.
I thought about that. Yeah.
It seemed, it
Like-
does seem likely.
Maybe
that,
he's an AI.
that things.
That's
could
what I'm
go
sitting
that
here
way
thinking. Like,
eventually.
is this guy legit? You know, I mean, he did respond whenever we first started picking on him, but like,
Never responded to my post.
Oh, were we picking on him?
Yeah, kind of.
well, I think we were a bit skeptical of his message,
Ah,
shall we
I
say?
see.
It's just that I've heard it. I've heard it so many times. There's the road, people on the road, and drivers, truck drivers. They subscribe to this bullshit, and they get on the radio
never
and
been a
they
big
spout it. They stand around in the
heard that-
truck stops.
Well, that's the best part is that you can't just believe it; you have to evangelize it.
Yeah.
You can't just believe it. You have to tell everybody else about your belief.
And you have to abandon all
Just like
self-respect.
I was watching one of those watch people die inside videos yesterday because they're fun every now and then.
Oh,
And there
sounds
was
fun.
one about there was one about a flat earther group, and you know, this whole the Earth spins at a certain rate, and over any given hour, it should be 15 degrees. You know, if you're using a gyroscope, it should go 15 degrees off axis, and so they're like, well, we're going to get this laser gyroscope that's like so accurate, you know, you can't, it's beyond question that it, you know, whatever it tells you. And so they get this thing, and it's like a $50,000 piece of equipment. And he's like, you know, and the funniest thing was every hour we saw a 15-degree shift, and we just can't explain it.
Ha!
Just like, you know. So, and it was basically the echo chamber effect, where it's like if you have a belief, then you seek out others with a similar belief to justify your own belief. And
Well, and then that crippling sort of thing that happens when you run up against the brick wall of logic, when the point you've been pounding away at for so many years just fails.
Oh, you mean like when Trumpers get asked questions?
Oh God.
Well,
yeah,
it's like all these Trumpers and MAGAites out there that are going, do the research, and you know damn well that all they've heard is an echo chamber.
And by do the research, they mean search on Facebook for articles that back up everything they say.
you know,
Yeah,
this
but
is a
where's the sources?
Yeah.
well, yeah. I have a fundamental problem with this whole
If you do
assertion
the
that's-
research, you have to have the sources.
that something like Mastodon is superior to X or Twitter. And the only reason I say that is because it's so easy to create little echo chambers on something like Mastodon, where each little federated server is kind of its own little fiefdom and has its own belief system and its own core values and all this stuff. Now, I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing to be able to have a group that you have a shared interest or, you know, something like that. But this idea that somehow federated is superior to a, you know, giant monolithic experience, I see something like Mastodon being able to lead people into even more ignorance potentially.
There is
And that's-
one way where Mastodon is superior to a big monolithic organization like X, and that is nobody can buy it.
I don't disagree.
True.
I see
But
Eric's
it's-
point though, because if you're only interacting, but I think the same thing would be true in a lot of cases if you're only interacting with the people that have joined that server because it's kind of that server's values or whatever are kind of in line with what they believe, then they're only going to be interacting with people of like-mindedness, you know.
The
Okay.
echo chamber
I-
effect is going to happen unless you actively work to get around that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there are useful echo chambers. I am on neurodifferent.me, and we can talk about the various ways our autism affects us without someone slamming us for being lazy or stupid or whatever. It's a safe place, just like the
Right.
trans community has a safe place on Mastodon.
Yeah.
Well, Moss, we pick on
It's
you
not
because
that
we
we're
love
trying-
you, but
yeah.
we don't pick on you for your autism or anything. We just pick on you because it's fun.
Yeah, well, when it stops being fun for me, I sometimes cry and
And
go away for a while.
We try to back off when we see that happen.
Oh, by the way, I figured while I'm taking minoxidil, I might as well see how much I can grow back on my head. I've got a nice fuzz pattern up here.
Oh, my hair is starting to thin.
Well,
I
I don't
figure
know
it's-
how much it's going to grow in, and I'm probably going to go back to shaving it off. But,
I
Stop
figure it's the
using
TRT.
shampoo.
well,
Dead silence.
the thing is, the only blood pressure med they can give me that works is minoxidil, which is the same thing as Rogaine.
Well, you
So
rubbing
I'm
it into
figuring,
your head?
Let me see. Yeah, well, I'm not rubbing it into my head, but it's in my whole system. You'd think it'd have some effect.
You got to stand on your head
Yeah.
for it to go to your scalp, though.
Well, all I know is the hair on my arms has gotten longer.
That happens with age.
That's
though.
because your arms
Oh,
hang down
God,
past your waist.
You're saying it's gravity?
It's gravity.
It's great.
It's
Don't you
physics,
know that-
man. You can't argue with physics, man.
Yeah, minoxidil is activated by gravity, obviously.
Yeah, man.
Oh, sure.
You get it.
That's why you smear it on your head, and so you can grow more beard.
Well, ear hair, definitely.
Oh, well, ear hair, I don't have a problem.
I wanna
I can't
mention
even
that,
keep I can't even keep the earbuds in my ears. They just sort of get ejected.
that I do want to mention that Wesley Curry did mention an actual Linux distro.
Oh,
Oh, gosh.
Said, enjoy the
How do I
peppermint.
unblock him?
So,
oh.
Did that make any sense to you? Yeah, I was trying to figure out what that meant. But
I was just thinking.
I have no
he stared
idea.
into
There
the void.
literally is
I
an
have no idea.
unblock button.
The things he's saying is so random.
yeah,
But,
The
well,
strange
the-
apparel shall be
Yeah.
punished. I mean, I
Yeah,
can
that I
understand
don't
that
get.
if I weren't wearing a freaking hoodie today and you
like
know,
a blank T-shirt.
like
my
gray army T-shirt
Is-
with the
is-
long sleeves.
Well, I showed
is
you my
blue
hoodie.
bad?
What I've got under here is Jupiter Broadcasting T-shirt.
Right?
Nice.
Of all the apparel that I've worn on the show with like random characters on the shirt, he picks the day I'm wearing a hoodie to comment on it.
I
All we
mean,
see
maybe
is
he
your
means
head.
my
Tell him he's
G-string.
got to stop wearing permanent press shirts because that's mixed fabric.
You're wearing underwear?
no.
Oh yeah, I forgot today is
pants?
no underwear Saturday. Yeah.
Why would you wear pants on this show? You're like the only
Listen,
one that wears pants on
That's
this show.
exactly what I thought.
I had to go out and pick up some stuff for my wife, so I didn't take my pants off after I got home.
Oh, that's the first thing I do when I get home.
Oh, you know it.
It can be, but didn't need to know that, Joe.
Oh, Joe.
Actually,
I'm the
with
same
the
way.
temperature in Texas right now, I got like 3 pants on. So
Yeah.
Oh, really? It got hot here. It got really hot and muggy.
Oh, well, you
It's
can just
supposed
take
to
a
be
long
getting
walk
down
off a
to,
short pier.
like 17 or something. Computer, what's the forecast?
Oh, now today it's cool again. Yesterday was.
Computer, what's the forecast?
It has no fucking
Computer's
idea.
not talking to you. Our computer's not talking loud enough for us.
Yeah.
So high of
See-
59, low of 11.
Ah,
11
With a
in
wind
back.
good
Texas?
Texas weather. That means your power's going out, Joe.
God.
That's nope weather. It's supposed to get down to like 7 or something in the next couple of days. This is there's a reason that I moved south and stayed south, and this isn't
That's what
it.
that's what Suzanne's been saying lately. I
You
left
guys
Canada
don't
for
even
this.
have insulation in your walls down there, do you?
Oh, we do have insulation. We do.
Yeah, we're supposedly getting a snowstorm tomorrow. It depends. I can't tell for sure from the weather maps whether we're in the 3 to 5 inch range or the 5 to 8 inch range.
See, we have insulation to keep the heat out.
Yeah. I wasn't thinking.
Yeah, it got so hot and humid yesterday afternoon that our walls were literally sweating, like running, because it got up to like 80% humidity and like 85 degrees.
How
Well, we
far down
spent
there
like
are
a
you?
month and a half in triple digits over the
Florida.
summer.
Well,
And I wasn't-
today it's back to 63. So I mean, it's
What's
I'm
50
down.
something right now,
I'm by
which isn't too
Tampa.
bad.
Okay.
Joe, you know that they MIT just came out with a new white paint that you can paint on your roof and it will block like 85% of the sun's rays from being absorbed into your roof.
Wouldn't any white paint do that?
That would be nice.
They actually did research and came up with this one particular white paint.
Because I
Interesting.
remember
I'm not
thinking
gonna
about
paint
that
my
when I was
roof.
a kid. Why doesn't everybody just paint their roofs white?
Or put,
So-
solar panels up there because that reflects it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless you have an idiotic homeowners association like we do.
We have a pretty dumb homeowners association, but because this is Texas and Texas was really pushing for it, they'll allow solar panels. My only problem is that the state of Texas has this strict policy of turning around and fucking over homeowners with things like that. Excuse my language, but for the longest time they did not care if you had solar panels hooked up to the grid. And then once it actually started having an impact on the electric company's bottom line, they started charging you hookup fees that were essentially the equivalent of what you would have been paying
I
in
stumbled
electricity.
along across
But you're
this
still paying for
podcast.
these solar panels.
Now I'm on
Now
it.
that
I
was
don't
several
know.
years ago.
It's funny you bring that up.
Policy when we had the snowstorm and all the power was going out all over the place and the grid problems. But once that gets resolved, what's to stop them from doing it all over again?
I
In
stumbled
much
along.
the
I was
same
just
way
going
that
through
they are
YouTube
currently
shorts. Next thing I
raising the
know,
price to
I come across
register
this
electric
podcast,
vehicles
and now I'm on
to
it. I
cover
don't-
the costs that you're not spending in taxes on gas at the pump.
Yeah, I've actually heard that filling up, like using a Tesla quick charger is actually getting pretty expensive.
Considering
Like-
the cost of electricity from the wall, yeah.
Well, I mean, just to the point where it's like not that much cheaper than putting gas in your car, honestly. Like, and I suppose that's going to be regional because certain places are going to have much higher power costs. But yeah, and honestly, I don't know. This opens up a whole can of worms in my mind. But I was talking to my wife about this the other day, where it's like, imagine when all the vehicles are electric, and then there's like a power outage, and you can't charge your vehicles. Maybe for a day, maybe for a few days, or something happens. That's going to be a bad situation, don't you think? We only have 40 miles of range left in the car, and there's no way to charge because there's no electricity. Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
There's a lot of problems
Hope that
with
someone has-
e-vehicles. And that's,
Well,
that's
they've
one of them.
come out with some big advances in battery technology that will probably double or triple the amount of distance you can
Well,
go with them.
What I want is for it to be enforced a battery standard, like a connection standard, a size standard,
Yeah.
to be set and enforced for all electric vehicles. That way, when your battery dies, you don't have to care that your manufacturer stopped supporting this vehicle 5 years ago. You can go out and get a battery that
Right.
works.
Yeah. I just saw something where someone bought a I don't know, some sort of
Yeah, I
used
saw that article.
electric vehicle, and it was like the car was 16,000 and the
saw
battery pack was 19,000.
Yeah,
It's like,
they were going to
Yeah,
have to
there
pay
have
more
been a
than the
couple
vehicle was
cars
worth
up
to
in
replace the
Canada
battery.
lately that 60,000 and they don't even have the battery.
yeah.
That's
Yep, I am
ridiculous.
not.
If you have a Prius, you can get a replacement battery pack from a third party that's a third the price of what it is from Toyota, and we're talking like maybe $1,200 for a battery pack.
Yeah, and I mean, I get that there are
For,
advances, and certain batteries have different compositions, and and I get all that. Or they sell so many and it drops the price, or whatever. But yeah,
Well,
I mean,
for an
go ahead.
electric vehicle, 1,200 actually sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
19,000? No.
Agreed.
And when
Well,
all these little companies, you're right. If there's no standard, every company, it's like the European Union saying that you can't have a proprietary charger anymore on your phone because it creates all this e-waste of all these stupid old chargers that no one can use.
well, they're
Those
right.
they are right, and it makes sense. And everybody's sort of gravitated towards USB-C anyway, which is fine. But no,
Not
I
only
agree.
USB-C, but a standard of wireless charging.
Oh, that's actually gotten pretty good. I have I decided when I got the Pixel 7 that when I got my case, I would get a wireless charger too, just to see
Yeah, I
how,
haven't
if
tried
the,
that yet. What charger
the,
do you get?
I had one 5 years ago that came with a Samsung. It was so slow. It literally took 8 hours to charge your phone, which was just dumb. And the new one charges as fast as plugging it in. It's actually
What did you
really
get?
amazing. Let me pull it up.
And honestly, it saves the life of your port
Yeah.
Yep.
doing it that way. And I
That's
wish
why
I
I
had done
got
that
it.
more from the beginning with my Note 10 Plus. But I couldn't get a hold of reasonably cost high-speed chargers. So in a lot of cases, when I was using the chargers, I would either have to take my case off to make it charge in a reasonable amount of time, or not charge it with the wireless. But
I've
later
been
on,
using
like now, I have a high-speed charger and it works great.
I've been using one of those OtterBox wireless chargers for years, and it's worked great. And you're right,
So
it saves the jack.
I got the Belkin Quick Charge wireless charging pad, 15-watt key or Qi charger, certified for iPhone, Galaxy, AirPods, and more.
I think that's what I have too.
So it's a 15-watt wireless, and it's when I bought it, it was like just over 20. It's 26 now. But I was just astonished at how fast it is, because if I use the quick charger that came with the phone, literally it is the same speed as putting it down on the wireless pad. Like, I was just like, damn, that's impressive.
No, if I use the high-speed
Okay,
charger,
give me that information again. I finally got logged into Amazon. Belkin?
Okay, it's Belkin Quick Charge wireless charging pad,
15 watt?
15-watt key or Qi, QI, whatever that is.
Do Pixels have wireless charging?
Yeah.
Okay. No, but with Samsung, they will do like the 45-watt charge or the 60-watt charge, and woo, that's quick.
Okay, I've got $25.99 in black and $37.99 in white.
I got the black one, but yeah.
Your man what's gotta be black.
And here's another 2-pack for $25.31.
That's a better deal.
Oh, that's a 10 watt.
Yeah, that 15-watt is really what made all the difference, honestly.
That allows you to use
But you're
the
right,
fast
Joe.
charging.
If you have a Samsung that takes the 25, it's the higher wattage wired charger. It will charge faster than the. But this is, if you do wire even at 15, it'll charge from 10% to 80% in probably 40 minutes or less. So that's plenty fast.
Yeah,
for me.
and that's what I use.
And it
for my
doesn't get
overnight
hot.
Charging now.
Oh,
So the one I had 5
here's
years
a
ago.
two-pack of 15-watt for $44.99.
Yeah. But so the Samsung one I had years ago had a fan in it, so it made noise whenever you used it, which was annoying as hell. It got hot, and it was really slow. So this one doesn't have a fan, so it's solid state. It doesn't have any coil whine or anything annoying like that. It doesn't heat up. I mean, it gets slightly warm, but nothing like hot. And it's fast. So I was, and like you said, Joe, it really saves a port because USB-C is great, but I'll tell you what, there's a lot of port wear when you're charging a lot. So, yeah,
Mine is loose now. It's not
Yeah.
that it's not working or anything. It's just you don't get that nice little snap and it holds it
a
there.
positive
Yeah.
feel. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I've even considered in the past those ones where you leave the adapter in and it's like a magnetic connection.
My wife likes those.
Does she? Okay.
So we have a
I mean, I
bunch
guess
of
that's-
them, and they work for charging, but they don't work for data. So then you got to take it
Ah.
out if you want to hook it up to something.
Gotcha.
Because
Gotcha.
you got to think about it. That little magnet, it's got 2 rings on it, so it's just for charging.
Does it fast charge?
I don't know. I haven't tested it on mine
Yeah.
because my case is a little bulkier than hers, and it doesn't
Well,
really allow for it.
Right. So, like my wife's case, she has that ring on there, the finger ring. So that inhibits
Prevents
wireless charging.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Which is why I switched away from a wallet case.
yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, because it was a little too thick. But this, like a normal style case, it was no problem whatsoever. I mean, unless you think the Pixel's standoff camera thing is idiotic, which, not much I can do about that. Except
Right.
get a thicker case, which I'm not going to do. I was surprised how few cases there were for Pixel 7s when I got it. Like, all no name. Except for, well, there was the OtterBox and stuff like that, but I'm not going to pay $50 for a case. I'm just not going to do it.
I like the idea of OtterBox.
They're too big.
Yeah. Well, no, I have kids. And they drop things and they break things. So I like the idea of OtterBox. Like
Yeah.
back in the day, I liked, there was this company that made cases called Rhino. And they made all their cases out of like solid aluminum. With
Nice.
padding on the inside of it to protect the phone. I use that for my Dell Axum X51V, which I think is still in a drawer over there somewhere. But I wouldn't be able to use that on a modern phone because, it would block signals, it would prevent wireless charging, et cetera,
Yeah.
et cetera. But yeah, I like the idea of the auto.
I mean, for me, it's enough if there's a lip that is enough of a standoff that if it, unless it landed on something that was protruding, that it would like bust, if it lands flat or even at an angle and there's enough of a lip there, then that's, I mean, I'm not like a construction worker where I'm going to drop my phone 100 times a day or, I'm fairly careful anyway, but I feel like if I don't, actually for me, they're so damn hard to hold without a case. They're so slippery, they slide right out of your pocket. So yeah,
I have a nice
Check
soft
this
gel
phone
one.
out that I just sent in chat.
Um,
It does not need a case.
Eric, on that Belkin charger,
yes, sir.
Amazon says some customers have reported issues with the heat, saying their device warms up and never reaches a full charge. Customers have different opinions on quality, charging, size, alignment, and value.
I mean, I can only tell you my personal experience with it, using it with my Pixel, using it with my daughter's OnePlus.
Have you had
using
a
it-
problem?
No, honestly, and honestly, the Pixel, in particular, charges, like I said, as fast as a wired connection, and it doesn't get any warmer than it does with the wired connection. Maybe there are some phones where it does, or maybe there's certain cases. ironically, Pixel does a terrible job. If I use the if I use video on the camera for more than 3 minutes, it overheats,
Ah,
which is just awful. It's a terrible design, and I've read that a lot of people have that problem with it. So,
I hadn't noticed that problem. I did a couple videos. We go eat at this one Chinese place that has really good hot mustard.
oh,
and
nice.
I always take a video of my wife eating the hot mustard because
Well, so if I go to like something for my daughter's school or something where she, she was in chorus or choir for Christmas, and it was like a 15-minute video. Like I get 5 minutes in and it starts complaining about devices overheating, and it's just like, well, what am I supposed to do? I'm going to keep recording. It doesn't actually power off or shut off, but it complains profusely. So,
Well, guys, I got to get out of here. So,
okay.
oh, you're bailing on us. I see.
yeah, I got more work.
You know
to
what?
do.
If I talk anymore, I'm going to
Well,
cough my head off. So,
but whenever you want to take over the Distro Hoppers Digest website project and do all our hosting for us, go right ahead, Bill.
Well, yeah, I just need. Yeah, we'll talk more on that later. I just need.
Probably better to talk to Dale or Eric because I don't know what I'm talking about.
If I'm moving it from one platform to another, it would probably just be easier to just build it from scratch using the same kind of template that we use for mintCast and OTC and 3FT. It's just easiest that way, and then kind of build it from
Right.
scratch.
Find out if you can export from the blog that we have.
yeah, and in some cases you can actually even extract it so that it's not necessarily like Zapier might have something like that where you can actually just tell it go get the posts and pull them out into a certain format, JSON or XML or something.
Yeah, I mean, if I can get at the raw HTML for each one of the pages, that would be good enough too. And then figure out. I just need to. You're
figure
using
it out.
archive.org for that, right?
Well,
So-
they're ultimately storing the files. There's a MP3, an OGG, and a FLAC that they're storing along with the post, the show notes, and the logo, just like basic sort of metadata kind of stuff. But yeah, the ultimate sort of storage place. But I guess Red Circle is storing a copy of the MP3 at least,
Yeah.
or else they wouldn't be able to distribute it. I'll have to talk to you, Bill, at some point. I've used in the past this audio tool called Auphonic, which is it's a software as a service website where they give you 2 free hours a month of audio processing, and I actually have enjoyed using it enough that I paid for it. But it does a lot of stuff like normalizing the audio. So it's like voodoo. I don't know how it does it, but it takes disparate levels of audio. Even if you do your best to try to like put a compressor in or normalize, if you use the service, like the waveform is like beautiful. It's perfect. It also has stuff like removing breathing sounds, connecting words like the ahs and ums. It's just this really cool set of tools, and I've been using it for years. And I used it on this last episode of DHD, and I'm really happy with how it came out. So,
I'd like to
could
take
be
a
a
look
good
at that.
time saver for you. So,
Right on. Okay, yeah, we'll talk
Joe,
more.
that phone is not available on Swappa.
The Tank 3? I'm not surprised.
Or the Tank 1 or Tank 2, although the Tank 1 they're selling on the site for $4.99, the 2 is $5.99, and the 3
yeah,
is
but only
$7.99.
the 3 is 5G.
Who has
3 is 5G.
I assume that you've got the website for distro hoppers on what, like Namecheap or something?
no, it's Blogger.
Blogspot.com.
Yeah, that's what it's on Blogger.
DistroHoppersDigest.blogspot.com.
So you're gonna need to get a domain.
Mm.
Yeah.
which I can't imagine Distro Hoppers Digest is registered.
Or even just distro hoppers.
Yeah.
I bet
That's
I bet we could get one for like 79 cents a year or something like that if you're willing to do
Let
like
me
a
tell you, I just got told by Namecheap that my .info site is going up to $21.99 a year.
Yeah. This is why I don't buy into those, because they start out at nothing and then they jack the price up. I've had that happen to me so like 5 times now. So I just don't buy into it anymore.
Let me look here. We'll look at .org first. Hang on.
Well, I went to Namecheap in the first place because it was about 40% cheaper than GoDaddy.
Oh, for God's sake. 2-factor authentication. I think it's fun sometimes looking at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, except it never sent me. They had to change the name from Tutanota to Tutamail.
What?
Yeah, I think because Gmail was blocking the Tutanota domain because so many.
Oh.
Oh, it's in the
All right,
spam
guys.
folder.
Well, since the only one that'll talk to us on YouTube is proselytizing, I mean, it'd be okay if he was proselytizing Fedora or something, you know.
Well, Mark says the Pixel camera module is one of the ugliest in my opinion, but I like mostly everything else about the phone and its open bootloader. Ugh.
Yeah.
I still
It's
haven't
Pixel-
heard any reviews about the Pixel 8 and its ability to run VMs, because it's supposed to. Before it was released, they were talking about. All the talk about it was its ability to natively run virtual machines. So I want a review on that.
You can get distrohoppers.org for $6.98 a year.
Take it. Who do you want paying for it?
Well,
Let's be a little more deterministic about this than just like half-assing stuff. We should decide what we're gonna do, how we're gonna do it. I'm not dissuading the action towards the goal. I just.
But do you think
That's
this
my
is a
2
good
cents.
is this a good domain name though? I mean that's a
Yes.
decision we can make right now.
Well, I mean, Distro Hoppers Digest is the name of the podcast. That's kind of what I would expect people
The whole thing.
to. I personally
Probably a
think
long
it.
name.
That's
It
an
is.
awful long one.
It is, but the other thing is nobody ever types in the domain, right? They go to a search engine and they type Distro Hoppers Digest or Distro Hoppers. Or frankly, for a podcast, really what they're going to do is go to a podcatcher and search for Linux or Distro Hopper or so. The domain is less about.
It's the same price. Distrohoppersdigest.org is $6.98.
Yeah.
You can get .com for $9.98 a year.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody registering it on top of the org.
Hey, Bill, you can buy the domain, and then if we still want it, you can sell it to us.
I've bought most of the domains for stuff that I've set up for people. I think I can be
it's such a
counted on
minimal.
to cough up $6.98 a year.
Yeah, right. It's such a minimal. I mean, domain fees are. Hosting is really where you save the money.
Yeah.
Self-hosting.
I'm going to get the distrohoppers.org too, though, because I want that. I feel like that's going to be worth something.
Okay.
So, yeah, we got it. So that's the first step. Now all we got to do is build something. And that's no big
Well,
deal.
if you build it,
They will come. Pay.
We've been ruined by the movies.
Oh, pop culture is like everywhere. And ooh, I think okay, 34.
Didn't we say something about getting out of here?
Yep.
Yeah, we
See you
did.
guys. Thanks for
Bye.
watching, everybody.
Yeah.